Hey everybody, how's it going? This is another episode of Casual Deck Building with your great friends Joel and Tifa. I'm Joel, that's Tifa. Welcome to the party. Today we're going to be going over Urza, Lord Protector. All right. This is the one that has the dual side. So he's on this side, and then on the other side is the Planeswalker. And I wanted to make this one because I wanted a reason to be able to cast him. So that's kind of the point of the deck, is to get him out. And there's other stuff in there that does fun things. But let's go ahead and see what we got. All right, he's a 1 mana, a white and a blue. Artifact, instant, and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. You can pay 7 mana if you own both and control Urza, Lord Protector, and an artifact named the Might Stone and the Weak Stone. You exile them, then meld them into Urza. Planeswalker, activate only as a sorcery. He is a 2/4. Then on his other side, Urza Planeswalker. You may activate the loyalty abilities of Urza Planeswalker twice each turn rather than only once. His +2 ability is artifact, instant, and sorcery spells you cast this turn cost 2 less to cast, and you gain 2 life. His +1 is draw 2 cards, discard a card. 0 ability is create 2 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature tokens. His -3 is to exile target non-land permanent. And his -10 is artifacts and planeswalkers you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Destroy all non-land permanents. So that's a pretty big jump there, but we'll see if we can get you interested. Now, let's go ahead and start. See what we got. We got a Plains. Good time. Darksteel Forge, 9 mana. Artifacts you control have indestructible. Another Plains. A Island. Omniscience, 7 mana and 3 blues. Enchantment. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. That's pretty neat. Island. Fractured Identity, 3 mana, a white and a blue. Exile target non-land permanent. Each player other than its controller creates a token that is a copy of it. That's a fun one. Kayla's Command, 1 and 2 white, is sorcery. Choose 2. Create a 2/2 colorless construct artifact creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on creature you control. It gains double strike until end of turn. Search your library for a basic Plains card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. You gain 2 life, then scry 2. Another Plains. Steel Artifact, 2 mana and 2 blue. Gain control of enchanted artifact. Mystic Forge, 4 mana. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast the top card of your library if it's an artifact or a colorless non-land card. Tap it to pay 1 life to exile the top card of your library. Mere Battlesphere, 7 mana. When Mere Battlesphere enters the battlefield, create 4 1/1 colorless Mere artifact creature tokens. Whenever Mere Battlesphere attacks you, you may tap X untapped Meres you control. If you do, Mere Battlesphere gets +X/+0 until end of turn and deals X damage to the player or planeswalker it is attacking. Ancient Den, it is an artifact land, taps for white. Skull Clamp, 1 mana. Equipped creature gets +1/-1. Whenever equipped creature dies, draw 2 cards. Equip cost 1. Urza, Lord High Artificer, 2 and 2 blue. When Urza, Lord High Artificer enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token. With this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. You can tap an untapped artifact you control to add a blue mana. You can pay 5 to shuffle your library, exile the top card. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. It's a 1/4. I think this is on the Game Changer list, if I remember correctly, so be wary. Invasion of New Phyrexia, X, white and a blue. As Siege enters, choose an opponent to protect it. You and others can't attack it. When it's defeated, exile it, then cast it transformed. When Invasion of New Phyrexia enters the battlefield, create X 2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens with vigilance. It's 6 on a hit, and then when you defeat it, it becomes Teferi, Akosa of Zalfir. His +1 is to draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card. His -2 is you get an emblem with knights you control, get +1, +0, and have ward 1. And you can -3 to tap X creatures you control. When you do, shuffle target non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value X or less into its owner's library. And that is a 4 loyalty. This one's not bad, mostly just to get out a bunch of tokens and then have some card draw and abilities there. Wall of Denial, one white and 1 blue. It is a wall. It has Defender and Flying. Defender means it cannot attack. And it has Shroud, meaning nobody can target it. And it is a 0/8. Void Shatter, 1 and 2 blue. It's an instant. This card has no color from the Devoid effect. Counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Aqueous Form. It's an enchantment aura. You enchant that creature, and that creature can't be blocked. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, you scry 1. 1 blue mana. Sword of Once and Future, 3 mana. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from blue and from black. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, surveil 2. That means look at the top, and then you can either put it into the graveyard or leave it there. Then you may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile instead. Equip cost 2. Urza's Workshop. This is a collection of lands that you'll need to get. Taps for a colorless. You add a colorless for each Urza's land you control. Activate if you only have 3 or more artifacts. Oh, excuse me. 2 and a blue. When Simulacrum Synthesizer enters the battlefield, you scry 2. Whenever another artifact with mana value 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. All That Glitters, 1 and a white, enchantment aura. You enchant the creature, and the enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. Solemn Simulacrum, 4 mana, otherwise known as Sad Robot. When Solemn Simulacrum enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield, tapped. Then shuffle your library. When Solemn Simulacrum dies, you may draw a card. It is a 2/2. Guardian, Golden Guardian, 4 mana. It is a defender. You pay 2 mana, and then you have it fight another target creature you control. When Golden Guardian dies this turn, return it to the battlefield transformed under your control. Add 2 mana of any one color to your mana pool. And you can pay 4 and tap it to create a 4/4 colorless Golem creature token. It's just another way to get all your fun artifacts out there. Silver Shroud Costume, 2 mana. It's an equipment. It has flash. When this card enters, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gains Shroud until end of turn. Equipped creature can't be blocked. 3 equip cost. All right, what else we got? Etched Champion, 3 mana. Etched Champion has protection from all colors as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. It is a 2/2. That is a great one. That's a fun one. I've had that guy out, started the game a couple times, and he stuck around for pretty much the entire game. It's pretty great. For some reason, I have... That's not mine. Ooh, I don't think this is from any of my decks. This must be from somebody else's deck. Oh, no. Well, I'm going to have to take that to the store and see if anybody's looking for it. OG, the Exquisite Blade. 2, a white and a blue. When OG, the Exquisite Blade, enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and scry 2. When you cast your second spell each turn, exile up to 1 target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So you can blink this or something else. I think there's other ETBs, but it's good stuff. Rod of Absorption, 2 and a blue. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, exile it instead of putting it into the graveyard as it resolves. X and tap to sacrifice this rod, and you may cast any number of spells from among cards exiled with Rod of Absorption with a total mana value of X or less without paying its mana cost. Yeah. Way to steal and replace some stuff. Academy Ruins. Legendary land, taps for colorless, or you can pay a mana and a blue to tap it. Put target artifact card from your graveyard on top of your library. So you got a little recursion there. The Emperor's Finest, otherwise known as Anointed Procession. 3 and a white. If an effect would create one or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many tokens instead. Island. Sai, Master Thopterus, 2 and a blue. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying, or 1 and a blue to sacrifice 2 artifacts to draw a card. Toughness and a power 1/4. Mother of Runes. 1 white. Tap it to target creature you control. Gain protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. She is a 1/1. The Council of 4. 3, a white and a blue. Whenever a player draws their second card during their turn, you draw a card. Whenever a player casts their second spell during their turn, you create a 2/2 white knight creature token. Power and toughness 0/8. That works well with the Battle of Phyrexia. Path to Exile, 1 white. Exile target creature. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card. Put that card into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Now I'm thinking about it. I am using a new microphone, so it's probably sounding different than it usually does, and you're probably picking up on the card as I flick it. So if that bothers you this time and it didn't bother you before, let me know, and I might switch back to that other thing for this specific purpose. Deflection, 3 and a blue. Instant. Change the target of target spell with a single target. Ethersworn Mage, 1 white and a blue. It has flash. When Ethersworn Mage, Shield Mage comes into play, prevent all damage that would be dealt to artifact creatures this turn. It is a 2/2. So that's some protection stuff there. We got another Urza, Urza's Mine. Taps for a colorless. If you control Urza's Power Plant and Urza's Tower, add 2 colorless instead. Razortide Bridge, artifact land, comes in tapped. It is indestructible. Taps for white or blue. Ethereum Sculptor, 1 and a blue. Artifact spells you play cost 1 less to cast. It is a 1/2 creature. Unwinding Clock, 4 mana. Untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap step. That's a game changer there. I don't think it's on the game changer list, but it should be, because that thing is awesome. Salvation Colossus, 6 and 2 white. Flying, Vigilance, and Trample. Whenever you attack, other creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain indestructible until end of turn. Unearth, pay 8 energy, which this deck doesn't have, and you can return this from the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile at the next end step, only as a sorcery, and it is a 9/9. Thought Vessel, 2 mana. You have no maximum hand size. Taps for a colorless. Tomb of the Spirit Dragon, taps for a colorless, or you can pay 2 and tap it to gain 1 life for each colorless creature you control. Urza's Tower, taps for a colorless. If you control Urza's Mine and Urza's Power Plant, add 3 colorless instead. Island. Here's the other game piece. The Might Stone and Weak Stone, 5 mana. Legendary artifact. When the Might Stone and Weak Stone enters the battlefield, you choose 1. Either draw 2 cards, or target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. Tap it for 2 colorless, only spent on artifact spells. Or this mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells, more specifically. Master Splicer, 3 and a white. When Master Splicer enters the battlefield, put a 3/3 colorless Golem artifact creature token onto the battlefield. Golem creatures you control get +1/+1. This is the 1/1. Archway of Innovation. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you control an island. Taps for an island. Or you can pay an island and tap it, and the next spell you cast this turn has Improvise. Which, if I remember correctly, Improvise is like sacrifice a token, an artifact, or something, and then reduce the cost, or as an additional cost. I can't remember. Plains. Reliquary Tower, no maximum hand size. Tap for a color. Colorless. Encroaching Mycosynth, 3 and a blue. Non-land permanents you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. The same is true for permanent spells you control and non-land permanent cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Darksteel Citadel, artifact land, indestructible, taps for a colorless. Island. Wrath Capuchin, ship's mage, 2, a white and a blue. It has flash and flying, and you may cast historic spells as though they had flash. Flash is basically casted at instant speed, and historic is artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. It is a 3/3. Urza's Power Plant, add a colorless. If you have Urza's Mine, Urza's Tower, add 2 colorless instead. Inventor's Fair, legendary land. At the beginning of your upkeep, you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain 1 life. Taps for colorless, or you can pay 4 and sacrifice it to search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Activate it if you only have 3 or more artifacts. Urza's Saga, in the first phase, you tap it to gain a colorless. In the second phase, you can pay 2 to tap it and create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token. With this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. 3 mana, or not 3 mana, the third set is search your library for an artifact card with mana cost 0 or 1. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Organic Extinction, 8 and 2 white. It has here's Improvise. It's a sorcery. Your artifacts can help cast the spell. Each artifact you tap after you're done activating mana abilities pays for 1. Destroy all non-artifact creatures. Okay, so Improvise is not the other one. Improvise is the same as Convoke, just with artifacts. Okay. What was the one I was thinking of? There's one where you have to like sacrifice a token or something, an artifact or token or something. Mycosynth Lattice, 6 mana. All permanents are artifacts in addition to their other types. All cards that aren't on the battlefield, spells, and permanents are colorless. Players may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. This might not work with 1 or 2 of the things in here, but you want to hang on to this for other purposes and reasons. Island. Sometimes it might shut down somebody else's board pretty good. Access denied, 3 and 2 blue. It's an instant. Counter target spell. Then create X 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying, where X is that spell's mana value. So that can get you a lot or a little. Grand Arbiter Augustine IV, 2, a white and a blue. White spells you cast cost 1 less. Blue spells you cast cost 1 less. And spells your opponents cast cost 2 more. It is a 2/3, and I think this is also on the Game Changer list. Karn Legacy Reforged, 5 mana. Karn Legacy Reforged power and toughness are each equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. At the beginning of your upkeep, add a colorless for each artifact you control. This mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. That should be a game changer as well. I've had so many games where this comes out and it's just, I have all the mana in the world to do everything. Windfall, 2 and a blue. Each player discards their hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. Bronze Guardian, 4 and a white. It has double strike and ward 2. Other artifacts you control have ward 2. That means you need to pay an additional 2 mana whenever you target it. Bronze Guardian's power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. It is a star, toughness 5. Crystal Skull, Isu Spyglass, 2 and 2 blue, legendary artifact. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play historic lands and historic spells from the top of your library, artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. Taps for blue. Dovin, Architect of Law, 4, a white and a blue. +1 to gain 2 life and draw a card. -1 to tap a creature, and it does not untap during its controller's next untap step. Basically gives it a stun counter, more or less. -9 is tap all permanents target opponent controls. That player skips their next untap step. That's a mean one. Mana Vault, 1 mana. Artifact. Mana Vault doesn't untap during your untap step. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 4 mana. If you do, untap Mana Vault. At the beginning of your draw step, if Mana Vault is tapped, it deals 1 damage to you. Tap it to add 3 colorless. I think I got something in here that untaps it rather than having to pay the mana for it. Or got some possible blink stuff as well. So we'll have to see. It's probably somewhere in the rest of this. Tempered Steel. 1 and 2 white. Artifact creatures you control get +2/+2. Unbender Tine. 2, a white and blue. Untap another target permanent. Yep, there you go. Right there. Enlightened Tutor, a white. This is on the Game Changer list, I believe. Search your library for an artifact or enchantment card and reveal that card. Shuffle your library, then put that card on top of it. Plains. Expropriate, 7 mana and 2 blue. Starting with you, each player votes for time or money. For each vote for time, you take an extra turn after this one. For each money vote, choose a permanent owned by the voter and gain control of it, and then exile it. Metallurgic Summonings, 3 and 2 blues. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token where X is that spell's mana value. You can then pay 3 and 2 blues to exile it and return all instant and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Only activate if you control 6 or more artifacts. All right, got to make some room. Excuse me. Alrighty. Smothering Tide, this is definitely on the Game Changers. 3 mana and a white. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2. If the player doesn't, you create a treasure token, which happens to be an artifact. Cavern of Souls, as it enters, choose a creature type. Taps for colorless or taps to add a mana of any color. Spend it only to cast the creature type, the creature spell of the chosen type, and that cannot be countered. Esper Sentinel, 1 white. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card, unless that player pays X, where X is Sentinel's power. It's a 1/1. So you got to buff that guy up. 1 with the Multiverse, 6 and 2 blue. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a spell from your hand or top of your library without paying its mana cost. Having some stuff out there that helps cheat things out is nice. It's nice. We like it. Gather Specimens, 3 and 3 blue. It's an instant. Now this one's interesting. If a creature would enter the battlefield under an opponent's control this turn, it enters the battlefield under your control this turn. This means if you know that somebody's got a big turn where they're going to create a bunch of tokens, or they're going to, drag in something where it's like bam, 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 and they get to cast all this stuff free, you just go, nope, and then you get all of them instead. It's awesome for that whole turn. So it's not just the next creature that comes out, it's the whole turn. Remember that. That's important. Venser, the Sojourner, 3, a white and a blue. +2, exile target permanent you own. Return it to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. -1, creatures can't be blocked this turn. -8, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a spell, exile target permanent. He has a 3 loyalty. I like Venser. He's got some fun abilities here, and he looks cool. And it's in white blue, which is my colors. White blue and white green and white blue green. That color wheel, like those sets, I like. I like mixing those ones up. Brainstorm, a blue. Draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Master Transmuter, 3 and a blue. Pay a blue to tap it and return an artifact you control to its owner's hand. You may put an artifact from a card from your hand onto the battlefield. So if you get a small artifact, then you want to get a big artifact, like if you have, you know, where's a good example here? Where's my cheap ones? I don't have my cheap ones out yet. I got all the expensive ones. Anyway. Oh, here's an artifact creature. So you have Ethereum to it for 2. You bounce that to your hand, and then you can put Mirror Battlefield for 7 out. And then if you have, you know, 2 more mana, you can put that back out there. It's just great. It's wonderful. Soul Ring, 1 mana. Tap it for 2 colorless. Command Tower, any 1 color of your commander's color identity. Plains. Seed of Synod, artifact land. Taps for a blue. Lightning Greaves. 2 mana. Artifact equipment. Equip cost 0. Attach this permanent to target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Equipped creature has haste. This creature can attack and tap as soon as it comes into your play. Shroud, this creature can't be the target of spells or abilities. It's a good one. Norn's Annex. 3 and 2 Phyrexian whites, which means either a white for each or 2 life per, so that'd be 4 life total. And then creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers you control unless their controller pays a Phyrexian white for each of those creatures. So they have to pay a white or 2 life, which if they got a lot of creatures and they don't have white, that's fantastic. All right, almost done, and we're out of room again. We're going to have to set you guys aside and start working over there. But we know what our commander is. It's fine. Brilliant Restoration, 3 and 4 white mana. Return all artifact and enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is an awesome recursion. Get it. Love it. Urza, Prince of Krug, 2, a white and a blue. Artifact creatures you control get +2/+2, and then you can pay 6, and you create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control. Except it's a 1/1 soldier creature in addition to its other types, and he is a 2/3. Island. Teferi's Protection, 2 and a white. Until your next turn, your life total can't change, and you gain protection from everything. All permanents you control phase out. While they're phased out, they're treated as though they don't exist. They phase in before you untap during your next untap step, and then exile Teferi's Protection. Blade Splicer, 2 and a white. When it enters the battlefield, put a 3/3 colorless Golem artifact creature token onto the battlefield. Golems, Golem creatures you control have first strike. Here's the 1/1. Mox Opal, 0 mana. Add 1 mana of any color. Activate if you only have 3 or more artifacts. Good, cheap, quick ramp. Decanter of Endless Water, 3 mana. You have no maximum hand size. Add a mana of any color. Just more fun ramp. Sensor Splicer, 4 and a white. When it enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 colorless Phyrexian Golem artifact creature token. And Golem creatures you control have Vigilance, 1/1. And a Plains. We'll just put you down there, because, yeah. Well, there you have it. This is what I call Urza the Problem Man, because he is a problem. And it does things. It creates tokens, it creates golems, and it's all about artifact stuff. So got some ramp and got card draw. It's a good one. It's felt good. I don't think I mentioned it, but I should probably bring it up. If I already did mention it, good to go over it again. I believe Grand Arbiter Augustine IV is also a game changer, because people hate that card, apparently. I don't see other people play it, so I wouldn't know how much I would hate it, but I can sure that paying 2 extra mana does suck for most things in general. Yeah, no, I'm thinking about it. Things seem pretty solid as far as I can tell. I've played it a couple times, and it has been fun every time. So get out there, be a problem, cause pain and destruction for everybody, or whatever it is, and just make a bunch of artifact creatures and swing out and kill people. It's great. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time.